I think it's time. I really, really do. The evidence that I've seen in pretty much an awakening, if you want to call it that. I do believe it's happening. I was hoping this would happen a long time ago, but it does look like it's starting to happen. So many things that are going on, and the things which were talked about years ago was really hushed up, and there's no real audience. But now it really does seem to be spreading like wildfire. And I think the main thing, I think we all need to truly, fully understand, I mean, absolutely understand, is the power of the word no. All right. For many, many years, I've been well versed in the word no. I do believe the reason why we are in this big mess, this big global mess, is because too many people say yes. We need to start saying no and say it as many times as we feel we need to. If there's anything which feels wrong, you're unhappy with, you disagree with, it's imperative to say no. Now, I understand the amount of conditioning and control that's been instilled or indeed indoctrinated into us pretty much from an early age, going through the school years. We're all taught to comply. Okay, so when you look at the scale of the manipulation is a key word here. Okay, we have all been manipulated from a very young age, indoctrinated, and it seems to be part of the norm. But if we really dig down within us and we trust our gut feeling, that very important intuition, that instinct, if anything feels wrong, we must say no. We've had enough of being controlled by whoever you want to call them. Okay, so I've written down some notes, so a few instances which I can pass on from my own experience. I'm not just talking the walk, I actually walk the walk. Now, many who have met me, who know me, will absolutely confer with this. Okay, so do you remember a few years ago the post offices here in the UK, where you would have a parcel, you would go up to the post office and you wait in line in the queue, it's your turn, and do you remember the people were saying, what's in the parcel? And you know what? Not once, and I can say, hand on my heart, not once did I say what was in the parcel. Not once. In one example, I actually walked out and went somewhere else. Okay? And yes, I had a long disagreement with the cashier with a queue behind me, and I remained true. That's important. Lots of people suffer from that issue with they worry what other people think about them. And that is a key point to remember. So when you look at it, just for that small example of myself in the post office, would you mind telling me what's in a parcel, sir? And I used to reply with, there's nothing on the banned items list that's in that parcel. Sometimes that was enough, but in lots of cases, no, we need to know what's in the parcel. I say, no, you don't, that's a private matter. We've been told by our supervisor or our manager to ask. I said, we'll go and get him. And on one occasion he turned up and I still refused. It's none of their business. So can't you see this is another step on that horrible long road of control? The second people say, okay, I've put this in there. And you know what? For a big laugh, and there was a lot of people behind me because I would not comply with their request of telling them what's in the parcel. So I decided to make a laugh and a joke out of it. This may sound a bit crude, so apologies in advance. I said with a much louder voice, there's a 10-inch black dildo in this parcel, just to see the reaction of the woman. And yes, she indeed blushed and she just carried on with the process, just to make a point. Okay, we must not comply. Okay, not once did I ever tell them what was in the parcel because it's none of their business. It's a private matter. I'm just paying them to send the parcel somewhere, okay? And like I said, I just reiterated the point. There is nothing in this parcel which is on your banned items list. That's all they really need to know. It's a form of consent, if you will. Going over to 2020, not once did I ever wear one of these across my face. Not once, and I never will. And it was so rife at one period in time that I was the only person in a major big supermarket with at least 200 or 300 people in there. I was the only one who did not wear one of those things, okay? And like I've said in other videos as well, the social distancing thing, I never stood on them lines. I just refused to comply point blank. I believe that we are all human beings on planet Earth living an experience, and no one has the right to tell us what we can and what we cannot do, okay? Not once did I follow the arrows to go around the store when the issue happened in 2020. Not once. In fact, the way the arrows were laid out in a particular store which I used to go to all the time, I just happened to always go around in the same direction, the same way, all the way through everything. And it just happened to be that one day they decided to put these arrows down, and it was the exact opposite where I usually walked. And guess what? I carried on walking where I always walked, against the arrows. That's how it is. I did not get the app, the track and trace app. Never will I get that app. I did not get one single test. Not one single test, nor will I ever get a test. And no, I definitely 100% did not get one of those, and I never will. And all of the extra ones of those, I never will. It's my choice, and I refuse. Simple as that. And I've never been ill, I've never been to prison. I've just got used to saying the word no when it's needed to be said. And I openly encourage every single person watching this video now to try it. If you've not done it before, you're not used to not complying, just try it, okay? And once you start getting used to carrying on about your business, just because you've challenged someone, you will grow in stature. And we need everyone to start thinking this way, because the amount of good control that's coming down the road, the more people that just say yes and fall in line, the harder it's going to be for not just us, but our kids and our grandkids. That's where we need to focus on. I'm sure you've probably got kids, grown up of all ages. I'm sure you may have grandkids, okay? Nieces and nephews, younger than you. What world would you want them to live in? The other day, I went to a supermarket and I had no idea. I generally didn't notice the sign, but when it was my turn, I got all of my items put through the till, and I got cash out, and the woman said, "Oh, this is a card only till." And I said, "Oh, I didn't know." And when I looked around, I did see the sign. I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, but I do not use a card. I use cash all the time." And because of the situation, there was 4 or 5 people behind me, all with full trolleys. One of them had all of their stuff on a conveyor belt already. So the woman on the checkout needed to get something done. So she called a colleague over, she took me to another till, and I paid cash on that other till. I advise everyone do this as much as possible, okay? Even do it on purpose. Go to these tills where it says card only and only have cash. Even if you want to, take your card out if you do have one and put it in your sock out of the way before you go into the store. So when you open your wallet, they're not even going to get smart and say, "Oh, yeah, I've got a card in there." You're just being awkward. Don't give them any ammunition. Try it. And the more that this happens, I think the more we can get something done about this. Okay? Yes, it's very, very small, but it's needed. We need to challenge the system because it's not working for us, and I don't believe it ever will. Many years ago, I went to a shop called Screwfix. Now, if you don't already know, Screwfix is like a DIY store we have here in the UK. Now I went in there, I found what I wanted, I went up to the front, again there was a queue behind me, went to pay for it, I paid cash, and then guess what they said? What's your name and address? And I said, not saying. Oh, you have to for the receipt. I said, no. It's my right. It's none of their business. And why would I want to tell everyone in that shop my name and full address in front of all of these strangers? I will not do that. I have never done that, and I will never do that. So again, they had to get the manager come over. He had to fill something out on the computer. So it said Mr. and he just put in X. He put address and he just put X road, XXX, and it processed the order. Because the main issue is no one wants to be made a scapegoat in front of other people. Okay? If you feel uncomfortable, that's the problem. That's the problem. Don't worry about it. Just focus between you and the guy or the girl at the checkout. Forget about the pressure of all of the people in the queue. They just don't exist. And if people start saying, come on mate, hurry up, just turn around and say, it's none of your business. Carry on and conduct your business without any compliance whatsoever. You pay cash, you remain anonymous, and that is your right. And if they refuse to do that, you just simply say, that's fine, I'm going to take this cash to another store and I won't be coming back. Now, when people who work in these shops hear this more and more and more often, and they're taking less money, and the balance sheets are going to come out at the end of every month, they're going to say, we didn't take much money last month, it was a bit worse than what it was the month before. They're going to start changing things, and the only way we're going to do this is for us to say no. That's all we have to do. It's a two-letter word. It's a very powerful word, but you have to really believe in it, and you have to enforce no onto things that you do not agree with 100%. Which takes us up to date. Now, I remember doing a video on this subject 7 months ago. 7 months ago, I already covered this about this emergency alert system that the UK government are rolling out on the 23rd of April. I will not comply. I will not take part in it. If you want to take part in it, then fine. I believe there's lots of sinister reasoning behind the rollout of this application at the time that they are doing it also. Okay, on St. George's Day. Are they taking the mick? Really? I believe they are. So no, I'm going to turn my phone off for 24 hours, all the way through the time that this alert is going to be rolled out. My phone will literally be turned off. It's going to be wrapped in tin foil. I'm going to put it away and I'm going to enjoy a pleasant 24 hours with my family, living my life. I refuse to live in fear. I don't like the idea of my phone screen being turned automatically onto full brightness, full volume, with vibrations saying danger, danger, blah, blah, blah. That's my choice. The LTN barriers. I have seen loads of videos shared to me of people just moving these bollards, pushing these wooden plant potters out the way, and just driving down the route that they've always driven down. The more people do this, it's going to become such a pain in the backside to councils. Eventually, they're going to have to quash the idea. If they start going crazy and putting solid concrete barriers there are lots of people in the plant and construction industry who are more than capable of removing those as well. And it's just going to spiral out of control with the cost and the time, etc. We must not comply. Just say no. If it feels bad, don't go along with it. It's that simple. Traffic wardens, parking fines. Now, we're going to be doing a live stream after this video with a dear friend of ours, Gavin. Now, we're going to be talking about fines, debt collection, bailiffs, all of that sort of thing. Okay, so if you want more information about how we get around that legally and lawfully, please watch the live stream very shortly after this video. If not, you're more than welcome to watch it on the replay, where you will be able to see all of the chat with that live stream video. Now, moving back to parking tickets and parking fines. Do you know the term traffic warden? Well, I have news for you if you have only just woken up or you're still asleep. Traffic warden was removed in 2008 and replaced with the title Civil Enforcement Officer. Yes, Civil Enforcement Officer. They're just people to go around putting tickets on windscreens, yet they are being called this. And look at what they are wearing. What traffic wardens used to wear years ago and what they wear now. It's starting to look a little bit militarised. I'm sure you'll agree. Just say no. It's as simple as that. Every single time that you contact a company who has issued you with a parking ticket, the second you reply to that company in any way, shape or form, whether it's a phone call, an email or a physical letter, you are inadvertently entering into a contract. If you completely ignore it, guess what? Just say no. So I would like you please to share this video far and wide. We need more people to start saying no. I've been doing it since I can remember, since I was at school. If there's anything that you don't agree with, please have the minerals, please grow a pair and just say no. Because let me tell you this, if you do as you're told, whether you're against it or not, you are part of the problem. You are a yes man. Yes men have created the big mess that we're all in now. We need everyone to say no. Start saying no. Thanks for watching and stay funky.